I'm Jeremiah and I'm here to share my adventures of metal detecting and treasure hunting with you. Why did I get into metal detecting? Well, it started off quite a few years ago. I was watching a parodies video, music parodies, and it was Janie's Got a Gun. And in the sidebar on YouTube, there was a video, found a gun with metal detecting. So I decided to watch it, and that led to one video, and that led to another, and after watching pretty much everything Aqua Chigger had and Nugget Noggin had, I'm like, you know what, I need to get myself a metal detector. So a week later, after studying and researching what detector do I want, what type of detecting do I want to do? Do I want to be strictly in the water? Do I want to be on the mountain? Do I want to be in land? I finally made a decision, and I ended up going and buying my first metal detector, which was a Bounty Hunter metal detector from Canadian Tire. Out of all the places I have metal detected, my most historic location I refer to as the Fur Trade Farm. It's a little farm property that I got permission to metal detect at, right beside an old Huron village that had 32 longhouses. To date, I have found some amazing pieces of history from there. Forks, knives, spoons, buckles, you name it, all from the original Canadian fur trade. I found my French trade axe that with the maker's mark, the cross within a circle that's on it, I was able to date that axe head back to 1575. There's so much history out in that field from the early settlers, the natives that lived there at the time, the Jesuits from France. It's just an amazing place that I know I can go to, and I'll walk out of there with a piece of history. So my most prized possession out of everything I've found metal detecting, I would have to say that would be the ceremonial lass spike. So what that is I was metal detecting our train station here in Aurelia, and I found something unique. It was a railroad spike. But you're thinking, a railroad spike, that's not too special. But this one is. It was very smooth. Black from all the runoff from the coal, but I ended up rubbing it with my finger and seeing what looked like gold appear. So I ended up cleaning it, and it turns out it was the ceremonial railroad spike made here in Aurelia for the grand opening of our train station in 1918. Got a little set of train tracks up there. Got some gravel holding it up. I'm going to post a picture at the end for you guys to read the printout that's there. But yeah, this is it. I think it turned out fantastic, guys. And I can't wait to do a video where I actually get to show you it being in the museum. So when I find an item in the ground, the way I determine whether or not I'm able to keep it all depends on the location I'm at. Some properties, when I deal with the homeowners, they request that anything I find goes to them. Some people request that if I find something that can be traced back to them, they'd like that back, but I can keep everything else. So it all depends on location. If you're on open city property, it falls underneath the Finders Keepers Act, like with my last railroad spike. The mayor himself called me into the office because he wanted to see it. So we set up a meeting and I went in and brought it for him to see. And I asked him straight out if I need to give it to the city. And he said, no, you're the one that found it. You get to keep it. As long as the museum can put it on display when they request it, that's good enough for me. So it all depends on the situation at hand, what you agree with the landowner. But out of respect, if I was to find a hoard of gold coins, I'm definitely sharing it with the landowner. What type of artifacts do I find and how do I go about dating them? Well, there's an easy answer for that. When it comes to things such as axes and some spoons, there's always a maker's mark on it somewhere that you can locate. And if you're able to search up that maker's mark and find an online resource, you can date it accordingly. Bullet casings and other items like that usually have the dates printed on them. Forks, knives that are of a much older era, you have online resources where you can find them, find matches of them, and ID them that way. Other than that, it's all about the metal composition. Some time periods when they use pewter versus bronze versus brass, it really helps you identify and age the relics that you find. Do I enjoy what I do? I definitely have to say yes. From finding these lost treasures in the ground to spending hours of research, there's so much you can learn from our past, like when I found the trade axe, having to do the research on it, the last spike, spending hours and going through newspaper archives at the museum and at our local libraries and just spending hours and hours and hours researching to find out the history behind something. It's an amazing feeling when you truly do find something and you uncover the history behind it and know you're holding something special, something lost over hundreds of years ago, and it's now been brought back to life because of what you do. So yes, I do enjoy what I do. It is a great hobby. It's tons of exercise. It gets me out in the great outdoors. And it's just an amazing feeling when you finally uncover something and you know, wow, this hasn't seen the light of day in 400 years.